When I was 18, I finally got my California driver's license. And before taking the actual driving test, I took the written test. And if you're from California, that test is called a permit test. It's the test you take as the written exam before you get to the driven exam. And of course, you have to go to driving school and pass those things also. But I can remember what the state of California said in this particular book. It says, driving is not a right. It is a privilege. And you know, when you're young, you don't really understand what that means until you get older and you really start to appreciate things for what they are. And sometimes it's easy to get beside yourself. Having friends is not a right. Having relationships is not a right. People that care about you, it's not a right. It is a privilege. And even in communities, to be a part of functioning communities that you can have money, you can earn a living from, you can do business in, those communities are not a right. They are privileges. And to be in the YouTube community is not a right. It's a privilege. Now, most YouTubers will never grow their channel to a large subscriber base. Most guys probably will never even see 10,000 subscribers. But somebody like Fresh and Fit grew extremely great in a small period of time to almost 1.5 million subscribers. And they did so with hard work and with a lot of business savvy. But of course, with success can come, this idea of this is my right. And it isn't. It's still a privilege. And sometimes when you're doing very well, you have your amen corner, people in your, on your side that are not telling you to do the right things. And even if they are telling you that, you're probably looking at them like, I make more money than you. And it's to the point where nobody can tell you anything. But that was different in their case because they had a chance to meet somebody who was bigger and better and more successful than them. That is the one and only DJ Akademiks. Now, he's a great example because DJ Akademiks at one point and still is very controversial. And he's had problems where he's been suspended from certain streaming platforms, maybe on the verge of maybe getting demonetized himself. But he's changed up his content and his delivery to stay on the platform. Why? Because being on YouTube in these streaming platforms, they're not rights, they're privileges. So once DJ Akademiks came across Fresh and Fit, he had the conversation with them, in which I'll play in a second, about their content. And he told them, listen, if you go about it this way, this is what is going to happen. Now, rewind, Nima. Remember I told you there was a deal that was possibly going to happen where another big YouTuber wanted me and Kevin to mentor Fresh and Fit. Now, at that point, I was telling the other guy, listen, there is no way that these guys will listen to us. And I happen to be right. In all three of us, I don't think, outside of Kevin Samuels, he's the only one, but me and the other guy, all of the other guys larger than me, we don't have as much influence as DJ Akademiks does. Akademiks created the culture of hip hop reporting. So if we couldn't teach them anything, then DJ Akademiks couldn't either. And DJ Akademiks is going to explain what he told them and why.
So Fresh and Fit's been demonetized, which means at least on YouTube, they are removed from the partner program. This is a step that YouTube frequently does when it doesn't agree with the content or the tone of the content that you're doing, but they don't think you have done anything that should not be on the platform. So it's a mitigating step, and it's a middle step to being completely wiped off the platform. So they've done it to a bunch of people. Steven Crowder is one of the people who have been demonetized. They haven't banned his channel. He could still stream on YouTube, put videos up on YouTube, but he will no longer earn money on YouTube. Now, I think this is a mitigating step because YouTube wanted to show that they necessarily weren't censoring anyone, but being able to make money on their platform was a privilege. Being a part of the YouTube partner program was a privilege. So rather than kick you off and say you're banned, now some people do get banned like Andrew Tate, but rather than kick you off, they'll be like, you can make content, but you nor I will make money from it. I've spoken to both Myron and Fresh. These are guys who, we've been pretty cool. They've been great guys, really loyal guys. And I'm actually incredibly sad that this has happened to them. Now, with that being said, I spoke to them a long time ago and I told them this was most likely inevitable. It was most likely inevitable that YouTube will eventually turn their backs on them. After Tate got taken out, they became the number one channel in the manosphere, spewing certain narratives that, you know how they like to say Rumble is right wing. Nobody likes to acknowledge that, well, Twitter, or used to be, right? Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, they're left leaning, which means if you're not spreading or spewing things that's alignment with the liberal propaganda, or if you're spewing things that's offensive to the liberal ear, you could get removed. Now, I'm not going to sit here and just be like, oh, no, it's because they're not aligning with the liberal agenda. You know, they did push they definitely pushed the boundary of what you could do as a content creator. And trust me, for the years I've been on YouTube, I've been spanked a few times, just to be like, whoa, no, you can't do that. Not on here. That's why I went to Twitch. Shit, that's why now I'm on Rumble. To give me more platforms that if I wanted to do other things, and it's not necessarily be extreme or spread hatred or nothing like that, but all of these platforms have kind of carved out like things about what you could say and how you could act. Fresh and Fit, I'm going to be honest with you, have survived a very long time while pushing that envelope. And, while some people are very happy and basking in them being demonetized, I had that conversation with them over a year ago, and I say, hey, you guys should prepare. There's going to be a time that you're going to be up on the chopping block, and what I do think you guys are good at, I remember telling them, I said, listen, being kicked off YouTube isn't the end. Being very truthful, do I believe it was just only the stuff in how they've spoken about women? I think that was always on the boundary. I don't think YouTube likes when women get kicked out or embarrassed, or some of their comments made about, even if it were jokes, about races of people. And obviously they've been steadfast saying, yo, we're just joking. We joke on everybody. But I do think in the last couple of months, they were already under a microscope. And what happened is they started seeing more extreme stuff. Like, you guys have Nick Fuentes on a podcast. You know what I mean? You have a guy who's pretty much a Holocaust denier. You have a guy who most people see as extremely racist. Someone who has co-signed and pushed forward ideals and ideology about going back to segregation. He's against interracial relations. It's a guy who, again, if you're on a left-leaning progressive platform that wants to celebrate and champion all progressive ideas, including trans ideas, right, and trans ideology, the guy who says, let's go back and not progress, let's go back to segregation and all that type of shit, that person would probably piss him off. By the way, Nick Fuentes is banned, I think deplatformed off YouTube. So when you're platforming people they have deplatformed, right? And I think also with the Tate stuff.
Now, see, you've heard it from the horse's mouth. DJ Akademiks has met them. He's advised them. He has more money than them. He's bigger than them. I believe DJ Akademiks is the one that got them the Tekashi 6ix9ine interview inside the studio, got them with Whack 100. You know, he got them some interviews. I think Kodak Black. At least one of those interviews took place inside a Fresh and Fit studio. But the point that I'm trying to make here is this. Listen, if you're not going to listen to DJ Akademiks and he's the guy that you want to be, he has all the things you want, he's been in the industry, he told you this was going to happen, and you still didn't listen, stop blaming the system. Stop blaming the fact that people are against men's rights. Stop blaming the fact that, all of this is happening. Hey, he told you what would happen if you didn't stop. But here's the flip side. You guys do have a good audience. Like you mentioned Alex Jones in that clip. There are certain things you guys can do now. You can take it over to Rumble and all of those things. And maybe you can go over there before it's too late and continue on your buffoonery. But then you were associating yourself with people like Nick Fuentes, people like Sneeko. All of the people have been kicked off the platform, and then you got kicked off the partner program. And now you want to act like that wasn't your fault when it was. Being extreme will get you kicked off the partner program. That's exactly what you did. And of course, that's your fault. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.